Today we're gonna become the first YouTubers ever to visit every single New York City observation deck in one day and answer the question, which one is best for you?
We've got One World Observatory, opened in 2015. Tickets start $43, and its claim to fame is it's in the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, 1,776 feet high at the top. You can get to floor 102, 1,268 feet above the city. Got our tickets on our phones, ready to rock. It's the best advice I can give you about any observation deck in New York City. Pre-buy your tickets. You're gonna be spending enough time in lines. This is, in my opinion, the coolest part about One World.
Welcome to One World Observatory.
We just saw the history of New York City in about 60 seconds as we went up. So what really makes One World unique is it is the only observatory that is completely indoors. So on a freezing cold day, this is probably where I would tell you to go. And you see the Statue of Liberty right there. You have an unobstructed view of the entire region from up here, 360 degrees. You also have the bragging rights of saying you are in the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere. I'm so used to seeing the Brooklyn and the Manhattan bridges from street level that seeing it from up here actually is really, really cool. New York City, it looks like a Lego set from this vantage point. This is where everybody is grouped together, that straight line shot of Midtown Manhattan. And I can even see our next stop, the Edge, straight that way. You could plot out the entire video from up here. It's basically boom, 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 boom. Great view of New Jersey this way. And as someone who's from New Jersey, I understand most people are not looking here. For somebody that wants an entire lay of the land of New York City, there is no observation deck that's gonna be better than One World. On a personal note, it is not one of my favorites because I like to be outdoors for this sort of experience. But for people who are big into architecture and wanting to see everything, this is tough to beat. I'm pretty sure out in the distance there, we can even see Pennsylvania. Whoa.
Thank you for visiting One World Observatory.
We've got to hustle. We've got an 11 a.m. entry to the Edge. This is the only observation deck located inside of a mall. We're going to the most unaffordable neighborhood in the city, Hudson Yards. All right, take two. We walked into an office building next door. Even I make mistakes. We're in a rush. So apparently we weren't the only people with the smart idea of coming to the Edge on a beautiful December day. The Edge opened 2020, $38 for admission. You go to the 100th floor, you are 1,131 feet high, tallest outdoor observation deck in the Western Hemisphere. This whole line is like one big advertisement for Hudson Yards. We are outdoors for the first time in this observation deck challenge. You know, something that makes the Edge very unique is the angled glass, which I recall when I made my first video about this place, people said they were getting nervous looking at me even leaning on this. If you are afraid of heights, this is not the observation deck for you. You know, if you're afraid of heights, what are you doing on an observation deck anyway? I feel like there's an observation deck arms race right now, and last year Edge opened up something called City Climb, which we decided not to do because Ben is afraid of heights and I just didn't want to do it. $185 and you go 1,271 feet above the city. Actually, that is the highest outdoor perspective you can get in New York unless you're in a helicopter. So if you're someone that wants that photo and you want to spend about 200 bucks, go for it. I don't want to wait in an extra line, but there is a line to take a picture at the edge of the Edge. And we did it when this place first opened, if you want to see that perspective. But this is a very popular attraction, super popular. Expect long lines everywhere. All right, if any more people go on the glass floor here, I'm afraid it's gonna break. This is actually my favorite spot on all of the Edge. A little elevated See Lower Manhattan. Now, just a note, Edge actually can close their outdoor sky deck due to adverse weather conditions or if it's super windy. So worst case, you might just get this view, which isn't so bad, but just be warned about that. Maybe New York's most expensive glass of wine, $25 here. Little insider tip, 101st floor has an elevator with a much shorter line. 2 down, 3 more to go. Personal opinion, I think the Edge is great, but it is not one of my favorites, mostly because it's just so far away from the other buildings, and it's also a little bit on the smaller side, so you do feel kind of packed in, but it is peak tourist season, so some people love that outdoor observation deck with the angled glass. For me, not one of my favorites. Summit One Vanderbilt. This is the newest observation deck in New York City, opened last year. You get to the 92nd floor, 1,063 feet above the city. If you want to add the ascent elevator, you get 1,210 feet above the city, or the 101st floor. This is by far the most popular observation deck in New York City right now. This is the one you need to book at least a day or 2 in advance. We're officially starting something called the Observation Deck Challenge, 5 in 1 day. No, actually, I don't recommend you do this because we are spending probably as much time in line today as we are the observation decks. So this is just a little challenge to show you all the pros and cons of each observation deck. I do not recommend you do this. All right, we're starting our immersive experience at Summit. You'll see why you need these in a minute. Is it me or all of the observation decks have this dark tunnel thing going on?
This is a one-way experience. That means take your time on each level because you cannot go back down to previous levels.
I love this elevator. It's a little packed. I like it.
Okay, everyone, right this way. Your journey starts here. I hope you enjoy.
After One World Observatory, that's my next favorite elevator ride with the mirrors everywhere, and you are just thrust into this experience. Putting on the shades. All right. Whew. It still trips me out to this day, this place. I love it though. We were here before it opened to the public, and I got a chance to talk with Kenzo Digital, who designed this, and he explained to me how the mirrors were supposed to be an experience where you transcend, and depending on what time of day you come and the weather conditions, it's always different. So if it's sunny, you're gonna get different reflections. If it's cloudy, if it's raining, if it's night, that was what he went for, and I think he hit an absolute home run here. It still trips me out to look down, and you see people down there, and then there's a second floor, they're up there, and there are reflections on the ceiling. While the majority of summits indoors, they have by far the best view of the Empire State Building and of Midtown Manhattan. I don't know if you get better views at any other observation deck than here, if that's what your goal is for photography, but it is gonna be against glass, keep that in mind.
Thank you.
Time to be an influencer. Is this how influencers pose? I don't know. I'm influencing you guys. Influencing you on not to do this in 1 day. So this room's called Reflect, and they changed the vibe. It's a lot cooler in here, temperature-wise. And this is an art piece by Kusama of cloud-like objects reflecting. A little breather till we go to what might be the coolest room in New York City. I don't know if this is being followed, but you know, a lot of people don't realize that if you go past the balloons, the view outside is not bad at all. I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was not me. This may be New York City's best bathroom view. Can you imagine how much this bathroom would rent for if it was on the open market with wraparound views like this? All right, so this is Levitation. We did this when it first opened, and I think it's absolutely fantastic to have the option, you don't have to do it, of standing out over a ledge looking at the city. Now there is a bit of a line for it, but because we're on a tight timeline today, we can't wait in line for this.
Your face in the clouds in there.
Cool.
That one?
That's me? Yep, that's me. That's a good looking cloud right there. That's a very good looking cloud. So crazy as it sounds, I actually think the outside is the least interesting thing of Summit. and it's still an amazing view. For an extra $20, you can do the ascent elevator to get to the 101st floor. Now, after making my summit video, I did get some of my viewers who didn't think it was worth the extra money. The reason we're not doing it today is because there is a wait time to board, and again, we are on a tight schedule to get in all 5 observation decks, but if it's something you want to do, we have footage of it. It's interesting. If you have a lot of time, you should consider adding it. Every single observation deck has its pros and cons. My personal favorite is Summit 1 Vanderbilt because it's completely immersive, and I don't think any other observation deck in the world could give you this experience. So if you are into immersive exhibits like this with amazing views, Summit will be my #1 choice. We've got 20 minutes till we have to be at top of the rock, and I thought of the perfect spot for a quick meal on the go. Royal Grill Halal. Some of my favorite street food in all of New York City. You can't go wrong here. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. True New York lunch right here. If you can find a better value in New York for this much food for $9, tough to top. Well, Top of the Rock just happens to be in the epicenter for tourism in New York during the holidays, right across the street from Radio City Music Hall. So this building opened in 1933. It was then called the RCA building, and Top of the Rock didn't open until 2005. $40 for admission, and it's actually the lowest observation deck in New York City. Floors 67, 69, and 70, getting you only 850 feet above the city. But don't let that fool you. They got a lot going on.
Welcome to Top of the Rock.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One thing Top of the Rock wins on, it has by far the best view of Central Park, any observation deck. Now, before Summit opened, Top of the Rock had the best view of the Empire State Building because you can't see the Empire State Building from the Empire State Building. Now Summit is nicer, but this is still really good. I feel like with the opening of Summit 1 Vanderbilt and the Edge, that Top of the Rock probably suffered the most because a lot of people know the Empire State Building, and then you have the newer ones that are maybe, I don't know, sexier. But this classic Art Deco building, I think this is probably the most underrated observation deck in New York City. We know Santa's favorite observation deck's Top of the Rock. This is a cool view. I can actually see the Times Square Ball from here. And we've got the Empire State Building. We've got 1 Vanderbilt, Chrysler Building. I can even see the Edge. This is a bird's eye view. This is nice. So the GE building here at 30 Rockefeller Plaza was designed to look like a 1930s ocean liner. And when you think about it, you really look up, like this is the mast of the ship and this is the top deck. Perfectly makes sense. Something unique about Top of the Rock is that because you're only on the 70th floor, you're not above all the other buildings, so the perspective's a little bit different. You know, you don't feel like you're looking down on people. You feel like you're with the buildings, you're part of it. I have to give the tourists visiting New York a lot of credit for their patience because we've seen nothing but lines today, and I know how stressful it is to travel, but everyone has been polite. I am very impressed. I think for my observation deck purists who want a nice building with a nice view, Top of the Rock checks a lot of boxes. So if you just want that outdoor view, you need to consider Top of the Rock highly. All right, we got one more to go, and it's a classic. I feel like when I wake up tomorrow for breakfast, I'm gonna expect there to be a line. So this is the Empire State Building, most famous building in New York City, probably the most famous building in the entire world. Admission, $47, although we got the $83 combo ticket to get to the 102nd and 86th floors. The 102nd floor is 1,250 feet above the city. This building is a classic. Just from the moment you step in, you feel it. If you are a fan of buildings, the Empire State Building, probably gonna be your favorite. So I wonder how many people in line today are here for their 5th observation deck. Just 2?
2.
Just 2? While waiting in line, I've learned there's 6,514 windows at the Empire State Building. Learn something new every day. Most famous building in the world, anybody? After you wait in all the lines here, there's a nice museum to stroll around. This is cool, this is a nice touch. There's a certain nostalgia that comes with visiting the Empire State Building, which you just can't get at any other building. The 80th floor is a sneak peek of what's to come. It has those big binoculars and then beautiful indoor view of Lower Manhattan. So I've never heard this offer before. They said 30-minute wait for the elevators or walk 6 floors up. Now, I lived on the 4th floor of an apartment in Greenwich Village for 10 years. This is not a problem. I think this walk cancels out all the cheap eats and fast food that we've eaten on this channel in the last couple of years. Whew. I see it. Wow. It's taken over 8 hours, but I see the finish line more or less.
She's your biggest fan.
You enjoying New York?
Yeah. We've watched all your stuff before we came here.
Which was your favorite?
The food places one.
Ah, what a perfect way to cap off reaching the destination, meeting a nice young viewer from the UK. And I feel like we walked miles and miles and through rain, snow, ice, desert, staircases to reach this. So this was the tallest building in the world for 40 years until the World Trade Center was built in 1970. This building's got history. The issue with the Empire State Building is because it's so iconic, it's so popular, and most people only get tickets for the 86th floor. So we're trying to jockey for positioning here at night, and it's tricky. I think this is the only observation deck that has outdoor heating. I have a lot of nostalgia for this building. I came here when I was in elementary school in New Jersey, so this is the first observation deck I ever went to. I will say though, I'm not such a big fan of the metal bars here. I prefer the plexiglass or just having like the straight on view, but it's a classic. There's something really peaceful about being at any of these observation decks. You're above the chaos of the city and you can see it a little bit, but you can't hear it. On the clearest of days, you have visibility of 5 US states, 80 miles, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, even Massachusetts. If you listen to a lot of area radio and TV stations, they always say broadcasting from atop the Empire State Building. This is one of the most powerful antennas in the United States. And the top of the Empire State Building changes colors depending on the holidays, depending on world events, USA, or if a sports team wins a championship, all sorts of different reasons. You can see it all through the tri-state region. We got one more surprise left. Thank you. After 8+ hours, we have reached the top. We have finished the challenge on the 102nd floor of the Empire State Building. It's an extra $36 to get up here, and this matches the highest we were with One World's 102nd floor view. So today in total, we have gone up 466 stories. I would say this is a smaller scale version of One World Observation Deck. It's narrower, but it's like the same circular view that you get, except you're in Midtown. I don't know if I would necessarily pay the extra $36 or so for this. Debatable. If it's the only observation deck you're visiting, maybe. But otherwise, I probably wouldn't. I like it. I just don't know if it's worth the extra money. Five observation decks in one day. Glad we did it. Never do it again. If you're visiting New York for the first time, there's certain experiences you need to have, and watch this video next to find out what they are.